Welcome to this podcast from IS Services in Trinity College Dublin. In this podcast we're going to outline a few simple steps with regards to creating a new web page in an existing college website which you have access to. The steps outlined in this podcast assume that you have already defined your site in Dreamweaver, and so you've already downloaded the web page files. If you've not done this before, there is a separate podcast outlining this procedure. In this example, we're going to imagine that we are one of the web authors for the School of Astronomy website. This means that we have access to both edit existing web pages as well as create new ones and subsequently link to those. As will be covered later in this podcast, however, it is usually only the web office who have the rights to edit the left navigation menu. We're going to imagine we've been asked to add a new staff member onto this site. The first thing you need to do when you have been asked to create a new web page is to determine, is there an existing part of the website into which this page can go. In this case, for a new staff member, the new page will go into the existing staff section. And so in this example I would click on staff on the left to see what's in there already. I can see the staff homepage at the moment, and I can also see individual web pages for each member of staff. For example, if I click on Martha O'Grady here, I can see she has a dedicated web page, and by looking at the address I can see that this web page is called martha_o'grady.php, and it is located in the staff folder on the astronomy website. This helps me to determine where the new web page should be located. It should go into the staff folder, and it should be named firstname_secondname.php. Note that at this point we are simply nominating the file name for the new web page. This is a paper exercise but should be done before you perform any further steps. In this example we're going to imagine the new staff member is called Robert Howard. So the new file name will be robert_howard.php. This is the first step that you need to perform when creating a new web page. You need to determine what the new file name will be called and what folder will it go into. If you can't determine this by browsing onto the website, you should go into Dreamweaver and determine from the structure on the right hand side where this new file may go. If there is not an existing folder, it may be necessary to create one. The next step is to determine a starting page to use for your new page. When we create a new web page for a college website, we are not going to design it from scratch. That is, we are not going to start with a blank web page and code it from the bottom up. Instead, we can use one of our existing pages and make a copy of it. This means we retain all the information at the top and at the left of our website. This information tends to be the same from one page to the other, and so that is the desired effect. So in determining a good start page, you should try and see is there one that already has the structure of the new web page. In this case, it will be logical to use the Martha O'Grady web page as a starting point. This is the second step. Determine what is going to be your starting page for your new web page. What is the one that you're going to make a copy of? The next step is to open that starting page. I'm going to double click on the Martha O'Grady web page in this case. And to make a copy of it, I simply go to File and Save As. Now I give it the nominated file name from step 1. In this case it was robert_howard.php. And I'm going to click Save. Depending on your version of Dreamweaver, a couple of different things may happen, but very typically when you look at the top of your screen now, you'll see you're working on the new web page, robert_howard.php. The old one may still be open, and I can view it, however it is unchanged and I may close it at this point. I now have my new web page to work on, and the next step is to update the information on it. In this case I would overwrite the existing information and put in the new information that is specific to this person. With the new information added, I can now save this file. File save and close it. File close. At this point the new file is only on my computer, so the next step is to upload it to the web server. I need to first select it on the right hand side and then choose the up pointing arrow to upload it onto the server. The next step is to browse to this new web page. I can do this because I know the file name and the folder that it is in. However, until I link to it, nobody else is likely to find this web page. So in this step we are simply checking that everything looks okay. I'm going to go back into my web browser and replace marthaO'Grady.php with robert_howard.php. And now I can see that everything is loading correctly on this page. The final step, so, is to now link to this web page. If you require a new link on your left navigation menu, as we do, it would now be necessary for me to contact the web office and request that they add a new link to this new web page. I would have to give them the new file name and tell them exactly what wording I want to have on the left menu. Alternatively, you could create a link from an existing web page to this new web page. For example, if this person had a course module page in existence, I could link from that to their web page. Creating links is going to be covered in a subsequent podcast available on the IS Services website. And this concludes the exercise on creating a new web page. Many thanks for your attention.